Hello everyone, I'm Saul Parsons and I'm here today with Gordon Jones, who's the chair of the Royal Navy Esports. We're going to talk to him today about his work and the LGBTQ visibility in esports. So, Gordon, welcome. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. Yeah. So, do you want to just maybe, I've obviously given you a bit of an intro there, but do you want to maybe introduce yourself a little more and tell us a bit more about what you do with Royal Navy Esports?
Absolutely. So I'm, as you say, Lieutenant Commander Gordon Jones. I'm the chair of the Royal Navy Esports Association, as well as the chair for our competitive team. So we have an association which is a place for gamers from all walks of life within the Royal Navy, the Royal Marines, our reserves, to be able to have a place to be able to come and play and be with like-minded people. But we also, from that, we draw our competitive teams, which we use for putting into either matches against the Army or the RAF or other organisations. We play against schools and colleges, or against the service teams from other nations. Particularly, we play a lot of matches against the Americans.
Lovely. So, Royal Navy Esports, how did that come about then?
A group of gamers within the Navy realised the RAF had an organisation and that we had a good batch of gamers that we had available to us, and we all got together and started to investigate what was the best way to be able to do it. And somehow in the process of that, I ended up being the chair of the organisation. Probably because I was the one that had the contacts to be able to help us meet the right people, to be able to take us forward. As a recognised organisation, it would be very easy to create a group of gamers and call ourselves a group of Navy gamers. But what we wanted was to give the Navy the opportunity to have a competitive team that we could use for gaming in a wider perspective.
Perfect. And so you said there, you've obviously, there's a group of you. How many people roughly do you have involved?
So I have a council of about a dozen people that are involved in a lot of the decision making and making things happen, but we have about 500 members all told across the Navy, playing a massive variety of games.
Excellent. So what would you say would be your most memorable experience, or do you have any memorable experiences from your journey since the beginning?
We've got a lot of memorable experiences. Actually getting the letter telling me that we'd been officially recognised as being a Navy team was a fantastic one. We got that back in December for the competitive team, just in time to be able to take part in our first competition as the Royal Navy, which was the Call of Duty Endowment Bowl, which is a competition run by the Call of Duty Endowment, which is an offshoot from Activision, to raise money for helping get veterans back into work after they've left the services. And we managed to get everything set up in place just in time to be able to take part in that competition, which was then streamed to 1.7 million people around the world. That was a massive one. Being able to get permission to put the white ensign on a competition was fantastic.
Yeah, and would you say you'd perform well as a group? Do you think you've got on well so far? Has there been any bumps in the road, or has everything gone quite smoothly?
As the newest of the service teams, there's been a few bumps in the road because we've got a much smaller group of people to be able to draw from. So being able to deal with adversity is something that the Navy is very, very good at. It's what we do as a service. But being able to move forward despite that adversity is also something that we're very much in the place of doing.
Excellent. So we at the British Esports Association like to push diversity and inclusivity a lot within esports, and we try to make sure that we're getting people involved and giving people a voice who you wouldn't normally maybe expect to have a voice. So as someone who is openly bisexual in the industry, do you feel as though esports is as inclusive as it should be, or do you feel there's any improvements that can be made?
I think esports as an industry is actually very good at being welcoming and being inclusive. Are very good at drawing from a diverse group of people. And broadly speaking, the one barrier to being able to compete in esports is having the equipment to be able to take part in esports. With the introduction of things like the esports BTECs at schools and things like that, that actually breaks down that barrier, because so long as you're able to get on the course, you can take part in esports, whether or not you're able to do it at home because you happen to have a gaming computer suitable to be able to play is a different matter altogether. We still have the same problems that there are in a lot of sports regarding treatment by individuals, and that's been very apparent recently with incidents on streams, with people making inappropriate comments. But broadly speaking, actually, we've the esports community is very, very welcoming, and there are a lot of people who are involved in esports who are parts of a very, very broad and diverse group. It's very good at drawing from that very broad and diverse population.
Yeah,
especially with so many young people taking part as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one thing whenever anyone asks me about esports and how people can get involved, I always say, it's for everyone. It don't matter what your kind of physical ability is, what your preferences are in any sort of way, whether it be games or whatever. You just, it's somewhere to get involved. It's somewhere where you can have fun. And so I'm glad that you guys seem to be experiencing that then as well. So I'm aware that you have a diversity and inclusivity policy within the Navy as well. So how do you think this can potentially translate into esports workplaces?
So the diversity and inclusion policy within the Navy is very, very robust. It's very strong, and it makes very clear that harassment, bullying, and everything like that is under no circumstances acceptable. And then we have, from that as well, we also have an anti-bullying and anti-cheating policy, which is drawn from that within Navy Esports, which allows us to be able to enforce that particular policy, which is enshrined within the Equality Act. To allow us to be able to ensure that everyone is treated equitably and inclusively, that we create this inclusive workplace, and that also on top of that, if someone feels that they're not being treated, that they've got the policies and the process and the backup to be able to challenge unacceptable behaviours. And that's a really, really strong point that has to be enforced, is that building an inclusive workplace is also about being able to have people who can respectfully challenge unacceptable behaviours. And it's a place that the Navy and all of the services are very much moving into, and very determined that we're not going to let it pass. What we want is to have that inclusive workplace, and that means having not just a place where you work, but also when you are relaxing and taking part in esports, that's also a place where you can be included.
Yeah, perfect. So obviously we've spoken a little bit, and you've spoken a little bit there about kind of all the good things, and you've not really met much adversity, barring a few instances here and there. Are there any changes that you would like to see done within esports specifically to improve inclusivity? Can you think of anything that you'd want to see?
I think the esports community, much like the sporting community, can do more to kind of encourage more people to feel that it is safe to be yourself, and bring your entire genuine self into esports, into sporting, onto the sports field. I think it's as important being able to bring your genuine self to your stream as it is for people to be able to bring their genuine selves to sports.
Yeah, perfect. So in your own words then, why do you feel it's important to highlight the LGBTQ plus community, and specifically bisexual people in esports?
Because esports are watched by a majority of young people, and the importance of visible role models, especially for young people, to feel that they are included, that they have a place, that esports is a place for them. They only will feel that, they'll only get that impression if they see those visible role models. And if me being involved in esports as an openly bisexual man is enough to be able for a young bisexual man, or even a boy who is looking to get involved in esports, and they're able to see that there is a place for them, then that is success as far as I'm concerned.
So one of the main parts then of Bi Visibility Day is to celebrate those who do identify as bisexual and showcase their talents across all sectors. Do you guys, as Royal Navy Esports, have any plans this year that we could potentially follow along?
Now that's a really good question. We haven't come up with anything robust at the moment yet on what we were planning on doing, and we don't normally get into it. The Navy is looking into doing some Bi Visibility things a lot internal. ones. I hadn't made any definite plans. I'm very much I'm not against to any plans. If anyone's looking for people to be able to come and take part in any esports streams or anything like that around Bi Visibility Day, we'd love to get involved. But at the moment, we didn't have any plans for anything out into the public sphere.
Fair enough, no worries. So just to kind of wrap up then, is there any advice you'd like to give to those people who want to get into esports but feel maybe they might not be truly accepted for who they are?
You absolutely have a place in esports. So long as what you want is to be your genuine self, but you are accepting and welcoming of everyone else who wants to be their genuine selves, there is a place for you in esports. This is the esports community is ready and welcoming to everyone and everyone, so long as what you want to be is welcoming to anyone and everyone. Perfect.
So thank you very much then, Gordon, for your time today. Do you have anything further you'd like to say?
I don't think there's much more that I can really add after that one.
Yeah, perfect. Is there anywhere we can, if people who are watching at home who could want to follow the Royal Navy Esports, kind of their journey, is there anywhere we can send them to be able to go?
Absolutely. You can follow us on Twitter, where we are at Royal Navy Esports. You can also follow us on Twitch as well. Again, the same, twitch.tv/Royal Navy Esports.
Excellent. Right. Thank you very much, Gordon, and thank you everyone for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel. If you want more content like this, don't forget to visit our website britishesports.org. Follow all our social channels in the description below, and we'll see you next time.